We were talking about it at the top of the show. Nampa has instituted a burn ban, first time in 20 years. Boise's meeting on Monday to discuss it. Fire is a major problem already this year.
It certainly is. We have fireworks that'll be on sale in a couple of days. But we also have to worry about Mother Nature, and let's check in with Scott about the risk of lightning. You know, we have plenty of wind out there right now, but how much lightning?
Well, and that's the key. Lightning is one of the major contributors in the summertime to whether or not you're going to have a bad fire season. But what gets me nervous about this year, again, is all that extra fuel. Because typically you have fuel there and you need something to trigger it. There are human-caused fires, and we try to be as cautious as possible, but they will happen, just as was the case today. But lightning is that variable that we don't know what's going to happen each year. The problem is that sometimes lightning strikes don't start fires, but if there's a lot more fuel out there, that can be the case. So if we have a lot of dry thunderstorms, that's going to be an issue. I'll talk more about that coming up. I want to update you on this, where this cold front is. It is now through Boise and just approaching Mountain Home. The wind gust at the airport in Boise right at 40 miles an hour, as I had expected. Been gusts to 40 throughout the region with dust blowing through. So any fires existing, that's another problem. Dry conditions and the wind, and we're getting both of those right now. The good news is there's no lightning along this cold front, but we still have some gusty winds. They'll stay out for about an hour or so. They're starting to come down a little bit towards the west, and tomorrow will be a little bit cooler because of that. So there's the Doppler radar looking at the dust. These again are 5-minute images. You can see the clock going in 5-minute increments. So as you mentioned before, these images come in every 5 minutes, and it shows where that front is, and they're just approaching now crossing the interstate, and last frame right there, so just on the doorstep of Mountain Home. So a storm system still around Wendell here, but not getting much lightning out of that. Good news there. The problem again is the dry thunderstorms. We mentioned dry thunderstorms. If you're not sure what those are, what happens is when the air is really hot and storms form, the hotter the temperature, the higher the base of the cloud. In the wintertime, the clouds are hanging low. In the summertime, the base of those storms can be very high, and it's so hot and dry down here that the rain will evaporate before it reaches the ground because of the low humidity. It dries that rain out. That evaporation cools the air and causes gusty winds to come down with no rain and lightning. It's the worst case scenario to ignite fires, and that's likely going to be the case in many places this summer. That's what we have to watch. And so when you hear that there's a red flag warning in effect, you have to be real careful. And certainly the burn bans, guys, we've been hearing about the burn bans. Very important. When you hear there's a burn ban, no burning going on. That means the officials know it is really dry and it is really dangerous. So we'll keep an eye on it for you.
Well explained. Thanks, Scott.
You bet.
Coming up next on Fox 9 News Ed.